Welcome back to another Respect and to another edition of AEW Dynamite Out of 10. And of course, it's a big episode of AEW Dynamite this week because it is the first show since All Out. And obviously, we were off the back of Chris Statlander shocking Tony Storm to win the World Championship and much, much more. So we start things off though with a World Tag Team Championship match between Brodido and GOA. And after an intense fight with the challengers, Brandido fought probably the best shots of GOA and got some late assistance from Brody to hit the 21 plex on Khan to win. No one is more in their bag right now than Brandido. He's delivered in the ring with every opportunity, and this was no exception. This was better than the teams bout between the two teams, especially helped by Brandido's wild energy. He was flying through this match. It was certainly not the time yet for Brandido to lose gold. Even if Brandido is a double champion, he was more than the double representative role with AEW and RH. Brody needed a run like this, and GOA looked great in defeat. It felt much more likely that they could be back in the title picture soon. The alliance with the one and only is making them in demand. So yeah, 8 out of 10, good stuff. Before we then moved on to the World Championship match between Hangman Page and Lee Moriarty, Hangman found himself in a dangerous position fighting him with an injury. The Cowboy caught him with a dead eye to retain the title. This was not the epic match he had with Fletcher, but it's still another showcasing of how good he can be. Moriarty showed how easy he could counter anything that Hangman threw at him. He's just not able to sustain it and through how hard the champ hits. This should lead to more AEW opportunities for the apex of combat. While he occasionally works the main show, he mostly works for RH. He has a chance to continue elevating himself, and hopefully he can have more matches like this. Did not know show who might step up next for the Cowboy, but yeah, it's definitely going to be intriguing. Hopefully get more fun matches like this. 6 out of 10. Moving on then to Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler and Stokely Hathaway apologising for their actions. Willow arrived to call Beth Copeland, one of her inspirations, demanding they apologise sincerely. Willow slapped Stokely in the face, then Speedball and Kevin Knight even the odds before FTR could act. They spent FTR running. This was a fun follow-up from the All-Out action. Both Copeland and Cage no SBC. Meanwhile, Willow continues to do her part in pushing AEW towards considering intergender wrestling, teasing an FTR showdown. Assuming Beth will be back in action at some point, she and Willow are the rare women in AEW that might both stand up to FTR, maybe even fight them 2-on-2. This is plenty more drama to come in the story, and pivoting the angle to Jet Speed also further keeps this angle hot as they can, since certain to have a great match with Dax and Cash. Moving on into the Don Callis family versus the Conglomeration. Don Callis tried to unveil his latest special family painting, but Orange made his return, breaking it. He followed Hologram and Briscoe to the ring to start this match. Afterwards, Fletcher interrupted the celebration to put his championship against Hologram to threaten his perfect winning streak. It's so good to see Cassidy back on TV where he belongs. His uniquely energy cannot be overlooked by anyone in AEW. He looked good first outing, though this was a showcase of all 6 men. It was lightning fast throughout and showed the Conglomeration as much of the team as done Don Callis' family. Hologram continued his streak, setting up a smart streak that ended the match. Fletcher will deliver again next week, but he is not going to lose at this point. This was quite set up for the arrival of the clone, which will likely cost Hologram in some fashion. So yeah, intriguing. 7 out of 10. Next up was Claudio versus Powerhouse Hobbs, and Claudio found himself outmatched by the strength of Hobbs, but Pacquiao helped to distract Hobbs by rolling him up for the 3. Afterwards, Samoa Joe ran before the Death Rider struck. Hangman arrived to send Mox, Garcia, Yuta and Claudio running. It's more often too difficult for heavyweight bouts like this to keep up with the wild action AEW can deliver on the road. While these fans love a meat match, this was not hard-hitting enough to truly keep up with the rest of the card for the night. Still, the result wasn't smart and set up an interesting dynamic. With the Death Riders go back after the World Trios champions, could Claudio step up to Hangman next to the Men's World Championship? Plenty of interesting matches are on the horizon, but yeah, this didn't really click. 5 out of 10. Before we moved on to Statlander versus Shirakawa, Tony Khan introduced the announcement of the Women's Tag Champions before this, and Mina Shirakawa wore down Chris with a figure 4 leg lock, almost making her submit, but the champion reversed it into a seatbelt pin for the victory. Afterwards, the Death Riders arrived, and Mox was the last to arrive and seemed pleased until Stat laid out Yuta with a clothesline. Stat and Cameron ran out in the crowd before Stat threw out the double birds. Darby then arrived with a flamethrower, sending the whole crowd running. He challenged Mox to an I Quit match. It's so great to finally see women's tag champs in AEW. The women's division's, kind of been pushing it for a while, and it would be nice to accentuate this development with a larger showcase of the division, but that will likely come soon. It's hard to say who will win it, but Storm and Mina would be the favourites, I would guess. The main event was fun. It felt like Mina and Stat could have at least used another 5 minutes to see the dramatics and possibilities of the title change. The aftermath more than made up for it, though, with Stat turning babyface great. The slow build of this story made it clear anything could happen, and yeah, it'd be intriguing to see what next with the women's division and the Death Riders. Alan got to stand tall with the Death Riders, and a must-see bout for Wrestle Dream, promising something truly heinous in terms of brutality. 8 out of 10, great stuff. Overall, All Out, I think really set the stage for a good show here, and I thought this Dynamite was good and really supported by good in-ring action. Why AEW cannot deliver this many surprises in only a few days? This was a wild run of the show companies, and I think, yeah, it definitely does lead us to a very interesting next few weeks in the next pay-per-view cycle. So yeah, good stuff.
That's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.